Today's talk is entitled Web of Life, to be delivered by Julia Stanert. Julia's life from the age of 0 to 50 is certainly interesting, but neither here nor there at this point. What is remarkable is that everything led her to be here with all of you wonderful UU friends at this moment. From age 30 to 50, the demands of motherhood, wife, homemaker, and breadwinner, all with trying to be nice about it, as with most women in her position, was a heavy burden with no relief in sight. Julia's mother, who herself had carried a heavy load in her time, gave her some sage advice that stuck with her during those tough years. Just wait until you're 50 years old. That's when your life will begin. At age 45, she stumbled upon Hearst Castle in Cambria. Standing by the Neptune pool while the tour guide told her that the night before he was swimming in the pool, her life mission became swimming in the Neptune pool. She thought in about 10 years, when her two boys became self-sufficient adults, she would move to Cambria and become a tour guide so that she could swim in the pool. A few years later, Julia decided to become a living history docent at the castle to get her foot in the door. This also gave her an excuse to visit Cambria and hang out at the castle several times a year. After a few months of volunteering, she was told that volunteers and 3 friends or family members could jump in the pool every September. On her 50th birthday, Julia, including me and 2 other friends, jumped in the pool, and her new life began. Julia.
Yes. I'm glad you enjoyed that. So, thank you, Kat. You were excellent. Thank you. And thank you to the worship committee for helping me put this together. So a couple of months ago, I decided to take a class at Viana Wellness Collective on Burton, across from Robin's Restaurant. For well over a year, I had been enjoying their full spectrum saunas about once a week. Actually, enjoying is not accurate. I'd say tolerating. The best part is walking into Viana. I love the atmosphere. It's a uplifting tonic for me. So after about 45 minutes in the sauna, if I can last that long, I get to cool down with icy cold peppermint washcloths. There are health benefits to the saunas, but I mostly just like to be there. So upstairs at Viana, there's a spacious studio with dark wood floors and lots of windows for various bodywork classes. And sometimes when I was in the sauna, I would hear laughter and enjoyment going on up there. Intrigued and longing to go hang out in the room upstairs with some fun, hip, cool Viana students, I ventured to look at the class schedule, and the only class offered in the evenings and Saturdays when my work schedule would allow was fascia flossing. Fascia flossing. I did not know what flossing was at the time. Teresa Clevenger, the flossing instructor, has in-depth knowledge of anatomy, our muscles, our nerves, our bone structure, and organs, along with traditional Chinese medicine, Chi energy meridians. And Teresa makes it all fun. I learned that fascia not only holds us together, healthy, supple fascia improves our health and comfort, and healthy fascia creates space in our bodies for the good Qi energy to flow through. The concept of space in our bodies has previously eluded me. When attempting to meditate, I've been told to focus on the space in my body. I did not understand what that meant, but I just kept trying. The process of learning about fascia has given me a new way of thinking about space. I believe that there is a spiritual connection with fascia and space in our bodies. Before each class, Teresa gives a brief talk to focus on the intention of the day's flossing. To set the mood, I will read Teresa's intentions from last Saturday. And then after Teresa's talk, which sometimes is quite brief, this one's a little longer, we do like 10 to 12 flossing exercises on mats and with blocks and sometimes up against the wall, various things. So Teresa's talk from last Saturday, Kidneys are similar to batteries. The right kidney holds the yang energy, and the left kidney holds the yin energy. Kidneys play a vital role in our energy levels as they store the essence known as qi. In traditional Chinese medicine, the element associated to the winter season is water. And just each season has a different element. So I don't know what the other ones are, but we're in water now. Kidneys' element is water and relates to the emotion of fear. And standing by water teaches us the flow and faith in life's natural timing. As we transition into the new calendar year and deeper into the season of stillness, we are invited towards a gentle recalibration. We are constantly processing sensations, emotions, thoughts, and environmental stimuli without pauses to digest the experiences. This becomes an internal debris that lingers and manifests as tension and fatigue and emotional weight. Surrendering to winter's quiet and reflection and gentle movement can lead to freedom and spaciousness in our tissues. That's the end of Teresa's talk. My presentation is based on a transcribed talk given at Viana a few years ago. I didn't listen to the talk, I hadn't been going there yet. And I changed the transcription around to go with the slides that I have chosen. And so we're going to begin now. Creatures engaging in fascia flossing. In the animal kingdom, fascia flossing is described as pandiculation. Animals instinctively take care of their fascia by routinely pandiculating. Pandiculation is the same as fascia flossing, contracting, resisting, elongating the trunk and extremities. Dr. Gimberto, observed fascia via endoscope with both passive movement, which would just be like, stretching, and fascia flossing, which is much more engaged, and I'll show you a little later. He found that fascia transformation, he found fascia transformation when fascia flossing occurred. When they observed the same fascia flossing subject the next day, the cleaning up of scar tissue debris was even more prevalent. When you floss, you are giving your body a pathway to heal. We are self-formed and we have the same baseline healing capabilities, meaning we can regenerate our fascia. Oops. What is fascia? Fascia is a communication system and space maker for the qi pathways. It's an electrical conductor and resistor. It's self-forming and self-supporting, and it's basically in our bodies. It's tension, compression, and suspension. Referring back to the previous reading that Kat did, Spark in the Machine, fascia is described as the connective tissue that connects organs to muscle, to spine, to nerves. It surrounds bones and underpins skin. Fascia is everywhere in the body and extremely strong. What if fascia is intelligence? New research is pointing in that direction. There is a lot going on in the body that messages and transfers information without the nervous system. Fascia can transfer information via frequency at the speed of light. And that is much faster than muscles contracting, and that information goes to your brain, and your brain says, I want to pick up the glass. When you're picking up a massive rock, let's say, there are sources distributed throughout your fascia, and these sources are messaging to tell your whole body to work as a unit. This unifying unit is fascia. Fascia has been discarded as mere packaging for centuries, and we are barely getting caught up now. Imagine our bodies as a wetsuit. The muscles, bones, blood, and organs are blobs. Fascia inflates the wetsuit to compress and hold everything in place. Fascia is the great connector and space maker. Without the tension, suspension, and compression network of our wetsuit, it would not be inflated. There wouldn't be any space for blood and to flow and organs to hang out. And bones, what do? Do they touch or don't touch? They don't touch. If they do, we have arthritis. They float in space. Bones are poles and meet in pockets. What is around the pocket? Fabric of fascia. Fascia creates the strings, the fabric, and the tension so our bones stay up. Until recently, it was believed that the muscles and bones held us up. This misinformation gave us the wrong idea about our bodies. There is a whole new way of looking at our bodies through fascia. It is exciting because because we are impacting fascia, the thing that touches everything and holds us up, makes space and connects us to the chi energy, then we have a chance at total health. Thank you. I know it's a little long, but what is fascia flossing? Exfoliating debris from your connective tissue. Fascia flossing is a dynamic way to stretch and rejuvenate your connective tissue from the inside out. It's active, it's engaged, it's mindful, it's connected. Flossing moves stagnant fluid and toxins that are stuck in the tissues and internally exfoliates, giving a renewed, spacious feeling. Areas of the body that feel painful, stagnant, or stuck are most likely where your fascia is thickened, hardened, and has become dry. Other terms for flossing: engaged elongation, eccentric contraction, contract, resist, pull, and my favorite, pandiculation. Muscles don't exist without fascia. Over time, and for many different reasons, our fascia becomes dry and hard rather than supple. Problematic regions have adhesions and scar tissues. I'm going to demonstrate now. My fingers are interlocked, and I'm going to press my fingers closer together and create a contraction to contract them. And then I'm going to resist as I try to pull them apart. So you resist, but you also let the pull happen. And it's the resistance and the contraction that break up the fibers. So it's an applied force, and it helps reorganize the fascia fibers. Old fibers that are not serving us are removed, and these bits and pieces of old fiber go into our elimination system in various ways. With flossing, the body can rid itself of chemicals from strong emotions and general toxicity. The water in our body forms emotional forces and affects the fluids in the fascial system. Flossing is an eccentric contraction plus elongation, or pandiculation. Animals stretching like downward dog, upward dog, just like the animals do it. Pandiculation is a yank, a slide, and a glide. They leverage, contract, and elongate. Flossing is an instructional way to rejuvenate fascia tissue. So I'm going to demonstrate again. So a lot of the flossing that I do in the class involves, hamstrings and thighs and different things. I'm just demonstrating because all you can see is my arms. So I would contract my bicep, and I would also kind of include my shoulder in back here and contract that. And then with my left arm, I would grab. And then again, you're going to resist as you pull. And so you resist, but then you let it pull. And you can do that 10 or 20 or 100 times. Teresa likes to do it 100 times, but we won't let her. And also another thing, she calls it picking up other fibers, is you can, lean in and pull your neck with it as well, and just to engage it. And you can feel it with a contraction. So. These are various. I've never done that, so don't worry about that. But maybe someday I will. What are flossa benefits? Increased elasticity, pliability. Flossing increases mobility without overstretching. Overstretching can actually harm fascia. So passive stretching does nothing, but overstretching, like in just stretching too much like athletes do and that sort of thing, can harm the fascia. We can impact tendinitis, ankle and neck issues, knees, sciatic nerve, and back problems. All these areas and more can be improved with flossing, as well as a full upgrade in our hormonal system, digestion, immunity, and create a notch up in total health. Flossing opens the space for the chi energy meridian pathways, which balances everything out with chi's vital force energy. Okay, get ready. This is little, okay. There's your fascia. Fascia is defined as an innervated, continuous functional organ of stability and motion that is formed by a 3D collagen matrix. Fascia's composition is variable as it forms an interwoven silk-like web morphine from dense sheets to spindly fibers. It's 90% collagen with elastin and mineral-based material. Fascia strands are triple helix, which I'm not sure what that means, but it's strong, with the ability to resist tension. Individual fascia fibers are stronger than steel by weight. So if we are passively stretching, are we going to change our fibers that are as strong as steel by weight? Passive stretching does not benefit fascia. Overstretching damages fascia. As this slideshow shows, there's different kinds of fascia. Muscles and organs and bones and underpinning the skin all have different types. The fascia under the skin is very fine, it's the spindliest. And it's around all our organs, all our bones. It's inside our muscles. It's around our blood vessels. It's everywhere. Fascia is a fluid distribution system. When it gets dry, and it gets dry and brittle as we age, it does not hold as much fluid. When doing fascial work, fascia becomes healthy, hydrated, elastic, pliable, and a more functional tissue. If we vacuumed out everything in our bodies besides fascia, standing there would be a ghost-like replica, unique to the individual. Injuries showing a unique distribution of fascia. Emotional trauma can show in the tissues. Fascia's job is to be adapting. Fascia molds to your body, to sitting at a computer for long periods of time, so when you get up, you're stiff. From the fascia molding to keep you in place. Repetitive movements and overuse of muscles and joints cause your fascia to adapt to your needs. Fascia is like a reset, flossing is like a reset button to adapt back to your original organic state with flexible, supple, hydrated, healthy fascia. And now I have a video of, it's hard to describe, an illustration of fascia. So we'll go with that.
So the good news is that fascia can give people like that a way out. And right now, I'm going to give you that visual demonstration that I promised in order to make sense of all of this, so you can understand how it's affecting you right now. So allow me to introduce my colleague, Cody Williams, who is a structural therapist at Sterling Structural Therapy. But today, good, please giggle and whistle, for the love of, yes, good. Today, Cody is Monsieur Fascia, okay? And I'm going to torture him and give him all sorts of fascial restrictions. Now, before I do, Cody's fascia suit is healthy. And notice the cobwebs, right? They're doing well, right? So he can lift his arms, he can move, he can go hike, he can go play tennis, he can do it, he can tie his shoes, no pain, okay? No problem. I'm about to change that. So I'm gonna give Cody a myofascial restriction at his right rib cage and armpit. And if you can already see, he's already having to adapt a little bit against this. Good. So now, Cody, go ahead and try to lift both arms up for me. And we're gonna just, woo, good. Okay, so can you see that his range of motion is restricted right now? Really try to lift them up higher, Cody. Okay, now, drop them back down, because ow, that's not fun. Now, this makes sense, right? You can imagine how this is gonna create this restriction. Did you notice what happened at his left shoulder over here? Yeah? So go ahead, lift both of them again. A fascial restriction here is causing some serious range of motion issues over here. Now let's drop that down, and I'm gonna give him a fascial release and fix him up, and now, woohoo, yeah. Did you notice him kind of move his neck? That is not comfortable in the neck either. Just gonna give you a brief example. A client that came to see us, fully torn rotator cuff. The surgeon said, sorry, can't repair it, fully torn. She now has that full range of motion and no more pain because we actually helped her modify her fascial restriction, and she changed certain habits to not recreate it. So it's actually incredibly adaptive, okay? Your body is incredibly adaptive. It does not rely on just one small little muscle in there, or even 4 little rotator cuff muscles, if you create balance elsewhere. I'm gonna give another example, torture Cody some more, and this is a bit more of a complex example. So I'm gonna give Cody a pretty severe myofascial restriction at his right hip. Good. Now, first of all, can you see how Cody has started to kind of develop some interesting posture? Good. Cody, try to lift your arms for me, please. See where the restriction is? It's even worse than before, by the way. Did you notice that? And then drop the arms back down. Now, Cody's going to attempt to walk with this myofascial restriction. So we're going to go for a little walk. And he's going to walk a little bit interestingly, right? Okay? And we're going to back it up so we don't fall on Dr. Rob. Good. Okay? So what I want you to see is that, first of all, you already saw how this affects his shoulders. Think about his neck. Can you imagine what might be happening at this hip over here? How that might be compensating and actually wearing on things, maybe even wearing cartilage from the position? Of course, this hip is probably not very happy, and this knee could have serious problems. With this pattern, Cody can have plantar fasciitis on his left foot because it has to deal with severe loads and modified impact with every step to try to stabilize him. This is the interesting with fascia, where you think it is, it ain't, okay? And the other point is, can you imagine his lumbar spine? I dare anyone to go for a walk with this. Half an hour. Tell me how your back feels. Okay? So I'll set Cody free, proverbially and literally. Thank you, Cody. Everybody please give him a hand for being tortured. Okay.
As for my personal experience with fascia flossing, my first class was back in August. My attendance was hit and miss with my work schedule. Even with my inconsistent attendance, a change in how I feel is noticeable. I don't feel stiff. I don't have isolated muscle strain from exercising and from window cleaning. It feels like my muscles are working in a more balanced unison. What I find challenging about flossing is the resistance part of the program regimen. You need to resist the elongation, which means you have to resist yourself, which is an interesting separation of functions in my mind, at least, but I'm getting the hang of it. I've learned so much more than I previously knew in preparation for this talk. And if you care to learn more, I can recommend books or YouTube videos, or you could join me in class. I hope you've enjoyed and benefited from my talk, and thank you. Thank you.